Good evening. We bring you the latest in the world of sports. I'm Paulo Del Rosario.
We give you the conversations you want to hear from your favorite icons and athletes. I'm Dario. And in tonight's game plan, we'll go through the list of candidates vying for the MVP award in the upcoming PBA 47th Leo Awards.
Then my partner Diego Dario returns to present the next part of his thesis defense that never ends. How should we react to the Celtics beating the Warriors in Game 1 of the Finals? And, may bagong segment. Gia Morado de Guzman dishes out her list of sensational setters in UAAP Season 84 Women's Volleyball in the game's top picks. Buckle up, sports fans. Let's get in the game. As we are on the brink of a brand new season in the PBA, the 46th Leo Awards is also on the horizon to honor the best of the best in the league. With multiple awards up for grabs, the spotlight shines brightest on the big one, the MVP. Let's take a look at the nominees up on the screen. Of course, when we look at excellence, you have to mention Robert Bolick, Mikey Williams, Calvin Abueva, and Scotty Thompson. Those are the front runners, and we're going to find out who takes home the big award very, very soon.
It could be anyone.
Could be anyone, for sure. So, as we await for the official decision, we'll try to come up with our own prediction for the league's most coveted individual award. Now, since I'm not qualified to do that, joining us to help with this discussion is Phoenix assistant coach Jamaic Harin. Coach, great to have you on the show. I think kilala ka ni Diego eh.
Coach, kumusta, Coach?
Yes, I'm good. Hello, Pao. Hello, Diego.
Can I just say, Pao, na, Coach Jamaic, this is the perfect time to say it because Coach Jamaic, one of the best minds in basketball, but more than that, naging coach ko si Coach Jamaic eh. He's one of the guys that gives confidence to his players and also yung mga off-the-court stuff, stories, yun yung mga mas marami kong natututunan kay Coach Jamaic, Pao.
Kasi syempre naman, kung walang Coach Jamaic, walang Diego Dario. Yan yung sinasabi namin eh. Pero, Coach, looking at the names that we mentioned a while ago, Robert Bolick, Mikey Williams, Calvin Abueva, and si Scotty Thompson, how tight do you feel the race will be? Sa palagay mo ba may mga favorites talaga? Or you can make arguments for each and every one?
Well, like what you mentioned, Pao and Diego, diba? All four of them, they are worthy to become MVP. So, but unfortunately, we have to pick one lang, But for me personally, I think Scotty Thompson has the edge in among all the candidates right now. But you cannot say that Robert Bolick is not going to be there, Calvin Abueva and Mikey Williams. No, so it's going to be very interesting on how the awarding will be tomorrow.
All right, Coach. So you mentioned Scotty, but let's talk about Robert Bolick because he's the one leading when it comes to numbers, when it comes to stats. Coach, what makes Robert Bolick special? I mean, he's number one in assists, 8.2 assists per game, and number two in scoring at 19.1 points per game. Why is Robert Bolick a hard guard to stop?
I was fortunate enough to coach Robert Bolick in college in San Beda. We were fortunate to win a championship together. So, kasi the reason why Robert Bolick is very hard to defend is because he reads the floor very well. He's very good in the pick and roll. He really attacks the basket really, really hard. And what he developed through the years is his range.
Yeah.
It's a 3 points. Diba? That's the thing that we talked about that he needed to develop. Right now, he's just a great pick and roll attacker and a great shooter from the outside. So you're gonna have a hard time guarding Robert Bolick.
Coach, idea mo ba yung bigote niya?
No, ever since when I saw him in high school, I think he always had that. But sabi nga niya yung pambansang bigote. But I love that kid.
Yeah.
And he's one of the best guards in the league right now. I'm just happy for him.
Absolutely.
Even off the court,
Off
Pao,
the
he's
court.
a character.
Iba talaga. Coach, when we look at Mikey Williams, especially in the All-Filipino Cup, marami nagsasabi na this is potentially the first rookie MVP since Benji Paras. And the rumblings about that have slowed down a bit because of what happened last conference, unable to get past Barangay Ginebra despite having a twice to beat advantage. Do you feel that that might be the undoing of his MVP run, or do you still think that he is one of the front runners and really not surprising kung he ends up winning the MVP at the end of the day?
Well, alam mo, if they went to the finals, diba, it's going to be a 75% chance of winning the MVP. But unfortunately, they were beaten twice by Barangay Ginebra. So it's going to hurt his chances. But nevertheless, because of the way he plays, the way he performs, the being selfless, and I think he has a chance to win it tomorrow. But he has a great chance of winning it in the coming years.
Yeah, for sure. And I think he's the front runner for Rookie of the Year, Pao. So I think that one, he'll probably get that. But let's move on to the next player, Coach. You were able to coach Calvin Abueva also when he was still with your team. What's special about this guy up front? I mean, yung mga hindi nakikita ng fans and viewers ng PBA.
Calvin Abueva, you always want a Calvin Abueva in your team because he's gonna play 1, 2, 3, 4, and he can even guard the 5 guy. So that's how valuable a Calvin Abueva is, diba? Sometimes he misses shots, but he has developed also his 3-point shot right now, and his decision making is phenomenal. He runs the floor very well, diba? He can handle the ball. And he brings that energy that's very contagious for his teammates. So that's the value of a Calvin Abueva.
Coach, si Scotty Thompson naman, a lot of people talked about his improvement. In fact, saying that he probably should be one of the key contenders para sa Most Improved Player Award. But then here he is, one of the candidates for the MVP. For those who forgot, he is also the Finals MVP in their last triumph. How has he improved in your mind, and do you feel that his late surge is enough to put him in the discussion?
He has definitely improved throughout the years now. Kasi before, Scotty was a defender and he would play the 2 and the 3 position. But right now, as you can see, he plays the point guard also. That's why if we look back in the finals against Meralco, the reason why LA Tenorio was able to really perform in the last 2 games, because the pressure of bringing down the ball was not in the shoulders of LA Tenorio. It was Scotty Thompson who was bringing down the ball. And Scotty has developed his 3-point shot. So before you would give him that shot, but now you can't give him that shot anymore because he's gonna make that consistently.
Coach, si Scotty Thompson, all-around player, do you think there's a next level to Scotty Thompson's game? If ever, ano yung kailangan niya pa i-improve?
Well, I think he's like what we see in him throughout the years. He has developed. But for me personally, I think he's gonna be a better player when he improves more in his ball handling. He would become a natural point guard. Imagine him at the point guard, like 30 minutes playing the point guard. That's going to be problems for all of us.
Coach, maraming salamat. We didn't ask for your prediction because we never want to put you on the spot like that. Pero again, thank you very much for producing a Diego Dario. And that's the reason why he's here on the show.
Coach Mike, thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
All right, so catch the 46 PBA Leo Awards on June 5. That's Sunday at 2 p.m. live on TV5, One Sports, and PBA Rush. After the break, my partner, Diego Dario, returns to present the next part of his thesis defense. Di pa siya nag-graduate. How should we react to the Celtics beating the Warriors in Game 1 of the Finals? Stay tuned. You're watching The Game. Welcome back to the game. The NBA Finals is officially underway and the Boston Celtics successfully take first blood in San Francisco. Tonight, my partner, Dario, returns to present the next part of his thesis defense. Let's get his reactions from Game 1 of the Finals. Right, Jeg. So, thesis defense time.
Thesis defense ulit,
Thesis
Pao?
defense ulit. Oo, parang dami mong thesis. Ibang klase talaga. Of course, you are... Based on yesterday's show, you're the only one who predicted that the Celtics was going to win this series. So let us go to your first point, Jegs. What is that point?
So far, so good, right? I mean, I'm a researcher, that's why I'm having a thesis defense right away. But my first take, we have to put some respect on the Celtics.
Okay, yeah.
Not just us, but also the Warriors. I think they didn't respect the Celtics enough in Game 1.
Okay.
Just because, they gave up a lot of open shots, especially to Jaylen Brown, to Marcus Smart, Derek White. They had a lot of three-pointers. I think the Warriors didn't close out hard enough because they were baiting them to, take those shots. Derek White had 21 points.
Yeah.
Marcus Smart had 18. Jaylen Brown had 24 points. I mean, you can't win a game in the finals with all of those guys scoring a lot of points.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. Again, they outscored the Warriors 40-16. They had that 17-0 run that really just shut the game down. And I personally am not mad at that take kasi syempre, I actually feel that a lot of our guests have undervalued the Celtics considering how good this team actually
and also,
is.
Just one point. I mean, they survived a 21-point outburst from Steph and Curry. They didn't like, okay, oh no, Steph is hot, we're gonna give up. I mean, they just really continued to play and, ended up with the W.
So, I want, for your next point here, you say that Al Horford was massively underrated.
Hey.
I want to... Okay, ito. Coach Willie Wilson, if you're watching right now, we all know that conversation we had about Al Horford and that you felt that he wouldn't do well. But this guy, Dario, feels that there is so much to be said about Al Horford.
I mean, guys, I called it. You laughed at my Al Horford take yesterday. And what did he do in today's game? He had 26 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, and 2 steals. I think this Al Horford piece for the Boston Celtics was the missing piece in the previous runs. And when they got Al Horford, they started winning a couple of games all the way here up to the finals. And look at this. He had 6 threes. That's not his career high in the finals. Well, it's his first time in the finals. Not in the playoffs, but in all the games that he's played in the NBA, that is his career high. So what a time to step up and shoot threes for Al Horford.
Pero yung point ko dito is that since Al Horford played an incredible game, alright? Played an incredible game. Can he do it night in and night out against the Warriors in a setup wherein you are sure that Steve Kerr is going to try and make sure that that does not happen again?
And we go back to the first point because I said put some respect on the Celtics. So I think the Warriors will adjust. They're going to close out a little bit harder to Al Horford, to Marcus Smart, and the other shooters of the Boston Celtics. Hell, even Pritchard shot a couple of threes.
So many players played well except for Jason Tatum. Ito naman si Jason Tatum. We can all agree with this. I feel that I'm actually on board with this point of your thesis defense. Sabi mo, Jason Tatum needs to step up. 12 points, 5 rebounds, 13 assists though. But, grabe yung shooting percentage niya. 17.6%, Jegs.
I mean, Pao, we have to give credit to Jason Tatum. He said that every time he drew 2 defenders on him, he was willing to pass that ball.
Yeah.
But, yes, I'll give that to him. He had 13 assists. That's his career high. But, he had 12 points. You mentioned it, 17% field goal. It will not be sustainable for the Boston Celtics. If your top guard, your top player is just scoring 12 points, it won't be sustainable. They won't win a lot of games, even 4 games, if Jason Tatum continues to play like this.
You made a point a while ago when we were just talking about this for fun, that Steph Curry did not play the minutes that you felt that he should have had. And in fact, that is your last point here. Sabi mo, Steph Curry needs to stay on the court. For those who forgot, the stat line of Steph Curry is 50% from 3, 7 of 14, 34 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists. But, Diego, you feel that he still needs to play more.
Yeah, I mean, he exploded for 21 points in the first quarter. That's a playoff record with 6 threes. But what did the Celtics do? They adjusted to Steph Curry. They wanted to guard him up on the ball screen. And I just think when you're top player, when the greatest shooter of all time is hot in the first
Yeah.
quarter, I don't think you should sit them out in the second. Because that's when the Boston Celtics had the run of their own. Even in the fourth quarter when Steph Curry was sitting down, the Boston Celtics had the run of their own and they never looked back. And it was too late for Steph Curry to try to play hero and win the ball game for the Warriors.
I just realized ang agree na ako today, and that is not because
I
I'm a
know.
Celtics fan, okay? That is not the case at all. Pero for the Warriors fans out there,
Yeah.
what is your prescription for them? Should they be more concerned about this Boston team, or should they still be confident in what they have here? Because a lot of people that we've talked to who were for the Warriors felt that this Celtics team couldn't match up with them. But I think if game one is anything, that proves that this is a lot tighter than people realize.
Well, Pao, I said I have Celtics, but in 7 games, right? Because the Warriors, they're still a championship team. They have the experience with their core guys in Draymond Green, Klay Thompson, and Steph Curry. So they know that this is a series. This is not the time for them to bow down and sulk on the loss. They're going to adjust, knowing Steve Kerr. They're going to adjust on their defense. And for sure, probably more Steph minutes, and probably Jordan Poole will step up also for the Golden State Warriors.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Diego Dario's thesis defense. He did well, in my opinion. Kung may grade yun, close to 1. I don't know what your system is in UP. I have to research that. But kung sa Lasal yan, baka 3, baka 3.5. But anyway, Diego, good job there. Aaron Black just walked in just to say that he did not like his takes. But all right, Jags, take us away.
I mean, we'll see if I'll do another thesis defense. But when we return, it's time for our newest segment. We challenge Gia Morado de Guzman to list down her sensational setters in UAAP Season 84 Women's Volleyball for the game's top picks. Stay tuned. You're watching The Game.
Welcome back to The Game. It's a segment you've all been waiting for. Setters are always the anchor of any team, being the focal point of those hard-to-pop first balls and the center of any offensive play. With the UAAP Season 84 Final Four fast approaching, it's challenge accepted for Golden setter Gia Morado de Guzman, as she shares her list of sensational setters in our latest segment called The Game's Top Picks.
Hey guys, I'm Gia de Guzman and this is The Game Top Picks, where we dish out our list to everyone's favorite sports discussions. Today I was challenged to share my picks for sensational setters in the UAAP Season 84. In choosing my top 3 sensational setters, my criteria are: number 1, distribution, of course. When you're a setter, you're supposed to be able to maximize all of your spikers in order to lead your offense. The second is decision-making. Those last-minute decision-making skills of a setter, that's what makes or breaks a game, especially crucial ones that reach 5th set. And the third is the ability to make do with what they get. And this is where, you don't expect the reception to be perfect. And setters are supposed to be able to adjust last minute and set up their spikers to score the best way they can. Here are my top 3 picks for sensational setters, and of course in no particular order. The first one is Camila Lamina, who is right now high in the standings for best setter. We can see how well she leads the offense of the NU Lady Bulldogs. Of course, we have to credit the great defense on the floor, but those last-minute decision-making makes it so much harder for her opponents to read who she'll give the ball to.
Over-received. But Adamson unable to put it away, and it's Lamina with the 1-2 play. Most definitely. 1 serving 4. Sa gitna naman!
From the perfect receive and the jump set.
What I love the most about Camila is you can see how strong her spikers are. Everyone is lethal and great in their own right. But as the playmaker of NU, she's able to control everyone. She doesn't go to anyone exclusively. And you can see how balanced their stats are in terms of spiking. And right now, their team is on top in terms of spiking and also setting.
She's already had 7 excellent sets.
Oh, what a set! And what a delivery by Sheena Turing! Oh boy, Lamina, Laksina, right on top of that ball.
My next pick is Louis Romero, and right now we see how much variation she puts into her playmaking. It's very crafty, nothing too fancy, but she has great control of the ball. Also, I admire how low and fast her sets are, and that really sets the pace up for Adamson this season.
And you peeking at the technical timeout.
That's a nice play right there.
I've seen her play back in PVL Collegiate. She was great then. Really, really good decision making, really great variation. But right now, every game that I see her play, she throws in something new. Nag-evolve yung paglalaro niya, and that makes it harder for her opponents to read what she's trying to do with her offense.
Kind of like really make a statement here right away. Genesis on the combination play.
My third pick is Mafe Galanza from UST, and what I admire the most about Mafe is even though she has one of the most lethal spikers in her team, Aya Laure, she's able to distribute and make it harder for her opponents to read who she'll give the ball to. She has crafty plays as well, and I love how calm she is on the court even when they're trailing or down a couple of sets.
Mafe, difficult back set. Combination play. Aya Laure scoring her 6th.
And also with Mafe, I really like how whether she's starting or coming off the bench, she's ready to deliver and contribute in whatever way she can.
Chance ball for UST this time. Combination. Aya Laure. She's starting to get hot.
And For my bonus pick, I was asked to choose an underrated setter to watch out for in this UAAP season and maybe in the coming UAAP seasons as well. And my pick is Julia Coronel from LaSalle. She showed a lot of potential. She hasn't really gotten a lot of playing time, but every time she steps in, she not only shows how well she can lead the LaSalle offense, but she also has a lot of height, a lot of experience and IQ that I'm sure will evolve through the season. So I'm really excited to see how well she'll play through the years.
Easy over. 1-2. And the bench of Ramil that Kyla D was talking about. Back. Reverse set to Santos, and it's in!
And that has been my top picks today. This has been Gia de Guzman for the game.
And that's it for tonight. Thank you for joining us. I'm Diego Dario.
Catch us weeknights here on One News, One Sports, and One Sports Plus. I'm Paulo Del Rosario, and this has been The Game.